coffee, mala, keys. If you watch my videos, you know what that means. It feels like it's been a long time since I've been out hiking. I've been sick, I've been traveling, I've been leading retreats. So today is the day I'm heading out. My kids are in school. Kendra left very early this morning to fly to Chicago for work. So I'm on my own. So if you want to join me for a beautiful hike, follow me. Okay, so we made it. This is one of my favorite places. Do you know what place this is? It's one of my favorite places to hike. Also, it's usually a beautiful drive. Let's see where we are. All right, we are at Castle Rock State Park. Which trail to take? How about this one? So I have a couple announcements, maybe one announcement. So many of you know that I said when my YouTube channel gets to 500 subscribers that I would do a free workshop. Well, the channel's over 500, I think it's 520, something like that. So I have planned a date for our workshop. So this workshop is going to be on the 10 ox herding pictures. If you don't know what that is, you can do a quick Google search. It's a very wonderful teaching that's pointing to not only Zen practice, but pointing to our lives. So I'm doing the workshop, and tentative date is going to be Saturday, June 3rd. I know that seems like a while, but in May, I have a lot of things going on. I asked the Patreon community if it would be better to do it on a weekday or the weekend. Seems like the votes leaned toward the weekend. I guess more people can attend that. So Saturday, June 3rd, we're going to do this workshop. So mark your calendars about that. I will confirm it probably in the next week. So if you're not on my email list, go ahead and jump on that. Go to jasonquinnzen.com. I believe there will be a pop-up. You'll see a place to enter your name and address. I'm very excited about this workshop, and I hope you can attend that. There's enough time for the word to get out, so if you think anyone else would be interested in it, let them know. I want to thank everyone for their support on my YouTube channel. It's been quite a journey so far, and there's a lot more to go, hopefully. So again, thank you for all your support. I'm going to continue on this trail. Very beautiful here. So wonderful to be back. So wonderful to be back out in nature. This past weekend, we just finished Heart Kilche. I've talked about this in previous videos. In the Quantum School of Zen, many of our Zen centers have 3-month retreats during the winter. Here in the West, it starts in the beginning of January and usually ends either late March or early April. So we just finished the 3-month retreat in the Providence Zen Center. And some people who are not able to go physically to the center and practice in person were taking the spirit of this 3-month period, this Kilche, and bringing it into their homes and into their lives. So many people created a practice schedule. Maybe they added extra practice to their normal daily routine. Some people were making more of an effort to bring meditation into their lives. All kinds of different things people were doing during this past 3 months. I also participated in this. I found it to be very helpful. So this last Sunday, we had the ending ceremony for this 3-month Heart Kilche. And something I heard quite often is they set a schedule and life appeared. Something happened where they couldn't practice or they couldn't stick to the routine. Some people were traveling. I was one of those people. All kinds of different situations. Sometimes I hear this tone like, it seems like we're failing. You know, if something appears and we're not able to do our formal practice, that we're not doing a good job or we're not a good Zen student. So I think this is a very big misconception. And it's also a hindrance we create in our own minds that causes difficulty for ourselves. Zen does not mean that we are perfect. It's not about sitting still for a long period of time. It's not having some special experience where maybe the gates of heaven open up, birds are flying around. It's none of those things. In the Quantum School of Zen, when we teach meditation instruction, we say that if your legs are hurting very badly, or perhaps you're falling asleep, that you can actually stand up behind your meditation cushion, keep your hands like this in Hapchang, and continue meditation. And then when you are ready, you can sit back down. Now, some Zen traditions don't allow this. In fact, I've heard that some traditions don't allow you to even move. You have to sit still, because only when you sit still can you get enlightenment. So this is called attachment to form. Even though we have this form in our school, if you sit some of our retreats, you see that it's almost like sometimes it feels like it's a sitting contest. Everybody knows they can stand up, but they're just sitting there. And when I was head Dharma teacher, when I would walk around with the stick, you could see people struggling in pain. You know, they just couldn't get up. And it's always when somebody stands up and all of a sudden another person stands up and another person stands up. So I always say during the break that Zen is not a sitting competition. In fact, it's not so important how you keep your body. Yeah, it's very important. You want to be comfortable. You don't want to be creating a position where you're falling asleep or creating a lot of pain. But most important is, how are you keeping your mind from moment to moment? Is this moment clear? We think that we have to be a certain way to practice Zen or to be a good Zen student. But really, it's not about any of those things. It's really about being open, being sincere, and really trying. Sometimes we call it a try mind. But that just means moment to moment, we try. Even if we were in a dream, it's not so important to check it. Just right now, what can I do right now in this moment? Past is already gone. And we don't even know what our future will be. But we do know if we make this moment clear, then our life is clear in this moment. There's a story about Zen Master Kobang that I find really important. Zen Master Kobang was Zen Master Sungsang's teacher. And when he was a young monk, he would travel from temple to temple. So one time he decided to go to a very small temple high up in the mountains. And at that time it was just him and the abbot of the temple. The abbot of the temple had to do some errands, so had to go for the day, and she left. Zen Master Kobang was doing some work around the temple, and a woman came and wanted to do a ceremony. But in order to do a ceremony, you have to know how to do the chanting for the ceremony. Zen Master Kobang did not like chanting. It's kind of like what we were talking about before. He just only sitting. Chanting is not Zen. Walking is not Zen. Only sitting is Zen. So he didn't like to chant so much. He only liked to sit. But when this woman asked if he could do the ceremony, he didn't even blink. He said, sure, I can do this. But not only did he not like the chant, he didn't know any chants, any of the Buddhist chanting. But he said, I can do this. So this woman set up the food on the altar and was offering the rice, getting everything ready. And Zen Master Kobang remembered a Taoist sutra. So when it was time to do the chanting for the ceremony, he was just chanting with this moktak, this wooden instrument, this Taoist sutra. So after this ceremony was finished, this woman was very happy and really thanked Zen Master Kobang for his big heart, his openness, and just how sincere he was. So she left the temple, and on the way down the mountain, she ran into the abbot who was coming back to the temple. And the abbot asked her, what were you doing here? The woman said, I was doing a ceremony at your temple. And the abbot said, what? Ceremony? But this ceremony you have to do chanting. Kobang doesn't know how to do chanting. And this is something interesting about the woman is she used to be a nun. So she knows all of the different ceremonies and all of the Buddhist chanting. So this woman told the abbot, yeah, I know that he didn't understand Buddhist chanting. But his mind was very large. His heart was very open. And it was his sincerity that made it a wonderful ceremony. Zen Master Kobang wasn't attached to the form. He showed us that even though he didn't like to chant, he wanted to offer help. So he did it without even checking anything. So that's a very wonderful direction that we all can have in our lives, that our practice is not just for us. So yeah, it's very important to have a strong practice. And what I mean by that is to have a daily practice, to use the meditation practice moment to moment into our lives. Be present with everything that arises, even when it's difficult. And not attach to meditation form, not attached to stillness or emptiness or enlightenment. The sixth ancestor of Zen, Huineng, made it very clear about Zen practice. He said, when the mind works freely to go anywhere, to come and go with no hindrance, this is the state of true samadhi, the state of non-thinking. But to suppress our thoughts, to refrain from thinking, this is being tied and bound to a Dharma view. And this is one of the biggest mistakes that we can make. It's not about being a perfect person or doing everything right. It's not about sitting still for many hours. It's not about not missing even one day of practice. It's just how to keep open and sincere right now. Those are my thoughts for the day. Let me know in the comments what you think about all of this. Don't forget to mark your calendars for Saturday, June 3rd for our free workshop. I hope to see you then. Even better, I hope to see you all very soon.